So this week I'm going to do something that I haven't done before on this show that a lot of other VC members have done. I'm doing it a little bit differently, but I think it'll be fun because I didn't really know until I sorted everything out and found exactly what I have. So, I've seen a lot of other people do this over the 2 years I've been a part of the VC, and it's my turn to do it now. My top 25 albums I have in my collection according to Discogs prices. I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report. Let's rank this!
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey VC, TC Kirkham here, the Kirkham Report. Welcome to Rank This, show where I do rankings of practically everything, anything, and anything in between. And that's the way this is going to be. Ever since I came on the VC, a lot of people have checked their collections to see what they have is worth the most in Discogs. Discogs is, of course, the #1 database for record collectors out there. I decided to take a different tactic. Sometimes they'll take the highest one, sometimes they'll go in the median, which is about average. Because my collection is so old, and a lot of the stuff is so old, I decided I would go with Discogs minimum price. So these are the minimum that these albums are worth. And even then, 90% of these albums have come out in the last 2 years, several of them this year. So they're based pretty much on retail price. And retail price is kind of crazy. But in any case, most of these I've picked up, some of them I've had for a while, but most of them I picked up in the last 2 years, and a good deal of them I picked up in the last year. And, it's fun collecting stuff. And there are a couple of box sets included. And so here we go. According to Discogs, these are the top 25 albums or album sets in my collection. Starting with number 25, and that is this. This is K.D. Lang's Ingenue. I gotta get it where we can see it here. K.D. Lang's Ingenue 25th Anniversary Edition. This actually came to me via Nazi's auction last year of his friend Coleman's collection. I had Ingenue on disc, and I've had it since it came out. It is the album that introduced me to the wonders of K.D. Lang, and I've been a huge fan of hers ever since. Let me see if I can get to that card. I don't know if it's still, you can see it or not. As it says, this record is from the Coleman collection, part of Mazzy's thing there. And I've got a K.D. Lang set from that, and it was very much worth it. All of them, I had a couple on CD already, but the other ones I didn't have at all. And all the bonus material included, but this is great. Discogs lists this set minimum price right now at $21.36, and the high price is $48. So that's pretty good. Not a bad little deal for that one. Number 25, K.D. Lang, and the 25th Anniversary Edition of Ingenue. I'm going to do some switching as we go around back and forth here. Number 24, album I bought just earlier this year, and it's I got to say, I love this guy, and this album is great. Number 24, I got to replace the shrink, though. Colin Hay, Now and the Evermore. I loved his solo stuff. I loved him with Men at Work. This album comes in at $22.48 on the low end. I got it through Black Box, I believe. Or I may have ordered it from... No, actually, I ordered it on sale from Rough Trade. Great album. It comes on, I believe, silver vinyl, if I remember right. You see, yep, it says that gray silver vinyl. That's what Colin looks like if you haven't seen him since his Men at Work days. Terrific album, and very much worth the money. A lot of these seem to have gone down in price since I bought them, but what are you going to do? I mean, that's what the record market is like anymore. Number 24 from this year, Colin Hay, Now and the Evermore. Number 23, this is a promo. I got this from Adam at Record Crate, and it's a 2-album set of Christmas music. It is called Gift Wrapped, 20 Songs That Keep On Giving. This is the edition that came out 2009, I believe. Let me look at the Discogs again. 2009. There was a volume 2 in 2010 also. This is currently at a minimum price. Its minimum worth is $22.95, and it is Christmas music from Warner Brothers artists. I mean, the list is huge. Michael Bublé, My Chemical Romance, The Flaming Lips, Nicki and Rich, Foxy Shazam, Jack's Mannequin, Megan Smith, Randy Travis, Regina Spektor, Tyler Hilton, Melee, The Used, Never Shout Never, Dwight Yoakam, Jeremy Lister, Reliant K, Whitney Duncan, The Brian Setzer Orchestra, Blake Shelton, and REM, all on dual discs. And of course, it's Christmas, so one of the discs is on red vinyl, and the other disc, surprise, is on green vinyl. So, number 23, Gift Wrap, 20 Songs That Keep On Going, Warner Brothers promotional item. I think it went to stores. I don't think it was put up for sale by them, but I might be wrong. Number 22, I actually have got this a couple months ago from Black Box, and I have not. It's in my to listen to box. Haven't even opened it yet, but it comes in at number 22, and it is priced at $23 even right now. From 2021, the reissue of this classic Ike and Tina Turner album, Cussin', Cryin', and Carryin' On, is on limited edition gold vinyl, which I haven't even broke open seal because the black box stuff, when I haven't listened to it, stays sealed unless I'm checking out the vinyl or something. And I need to get to these. I have like 150 albums in that box where I haven't listened to yet. And there's a lot of stuff here. But this is a great album, and it comes, I believe, I don't know when the original issue date is, but it looks, from the look of it, I'd say mid-60s. Selections on this album were originally recorded in stereo, with the exception of Poor Little Fool, So Blue Over You, and You Got What You Wanted, which had been electronically processed for stereo from the original monophonic recordings. Released by Pompeii Records. So this will be fun to listen to when I get a chance to, but it's number 22 on my list of the most expensive items I have on Discogs, according to minimum price. Right now, that album is going for a gift wrap is going for $100 on the best price, and that album is going for $34.98. Number 21 is Record Store Day 2021's reissue of the French import of Donna Summer's Bad Girls. I have the original album. I have the CD. I have the digital. Donna Summer is a goddess to me, and I absolutely love her. Again, this is on clear vinyl, Casablanca, red and green again, or red and blue? I have to fight with it for a minute here. Give me a second. Red and blue, transparent. It's a recreation, has an Obi strip with it, but it is a recreation of Donna's classic 1979 album with Bad Girls, Hot Stuff, Sunset People, so much stuff. Dim all the lights on here. All the original album art. It sounds beautiful. The sound is great. I'm sorry, I'm completely out of camera shot today. Donna Summer, Bad Girls, Record Store Day 2022. I believe it was on the second or third drop, or 21, I mean. And currently it is retailing at $24.04 minimum, which is what I have it at, $36.50 median and $47.99 on the high end, which blows my mind, but it's a great album and it's worth it. Next up, a really old album. I picked this up about 3 years ago. I had been wanting it for years and years. I was a huge fan of the television show when it was on in 1970 or 71, and it continues to be a classic, and several people from the show have gone on to do bigger and better things. They were preteens at best here, or just turning teenagers. This is number 19, I think. Soundtrack album from the British television series The Double Deckers. This aired on ABC either in 70 or 71, I forget which. Starred Peter Firth, one of his first starring roles. Another member, Brinsley Ford, went on to be I think he's part of Aswad. And I'm sure I could find something else in this. This is the cast as they looked at the time. I had a huge crush on Debbie Roos, or Debbie Russ. I thought she was awesome. The show, I don't really remember that well. I know it's on YouTube. I tend not to go back and watch shows from my childhood for fear of ruining them. So, except for Zoom and the Electric Company. We bought both sets of the Electric Company when it came out a couple years ago. But this is a great find, and it sounds great. It's in great shape, having come out so long ago on Capitol here in America, and has that classic green Capitol label from that time. And I mean, it is in pristine shape. Look at that. And I think I paid $8 or $10 for it. Way less than I thought I would have to do, and way less than I'd seen it for before. So I was very happy. Right now, let me get over there. As soon as I get it back in the envelope, I need to put it inside of one of my envelopes. This is in the one I got. It came in when I bought it. The Double Deckers album is presently going for $24.41 minimum, $53.78 median, and $100 high end on Discogs. And it's 1971. If you remember the show, this is well worth having. It's a lot of fun. Continuing the climb upward. This is an album I'm surprised more people in the VC don't have, because I've actually had some people tell me, "Oh my God, I wish I had that. I wanted that when I was younger, and now it's impossible to get." Well, I did get it when it was out. I was a huge fan of the movie and its first sequel. And I didn't mind the cartoon show so bad, but I didn't like any of the other sequels. And I haven't watched the new series. I got to be honest. I haven't. Again, it's that whole, do I really want to do it, even though I love some of the cast? And I know there's quite a few members of the cast of the movie are back. I just can't bring myself to watch Cobra Kai. This is the 1984 soundtrack from The Karate Kid. This is OG, people. I don't know why. I'm surprised this hasn't come out as a record store day release, with a number of people that have told me they would love to have a copy of it. I've shown it before. The Moment of Truth from Survivor, Bop Bop on the Beach from The Flirts with Jan and Dean, No Shelter from Broken Edge, Young Hearts by Commuter, which included Frankie Avalon Jr. as one of their members. It Takes Two to Tango by Paul Davis. Tough Love by Shandy, Rhythm Man by St. Regis, Feel the Night by Baxter Robinson, Desire by Gang of Four, and You're the Best by Joe Bean Esposito of Brooklyn Dreams. Terrific album. And it's still in pretty good shape since I've had it since I was in my 20s. I tried to take really good care of my albums back then. Presently, this sucker retails for $24.89 minimum, $45 median, and $75 high price. So I can understand why people have hard time finding it. Next on the list, the Karate Kid original motion picture soundtrack from 1984. I've had this on CD since it came out, but I found it on vinyl last year, and I'm like, I'm going to pick it up. Now, you guys know I am a pop guy, but I do love hair metal. I like heavy metal in some ways. I'm not the huge classic rock fan that everybody is. But there is one huge rock artist, crazy rock artist that I absolutely love, and his name is Andrew WK. This is The Wolf, originally released in 2004, I believe, 2003. It came out on vinyl in 2010. And it's a cool swirl colored vinyl. Picked this up for a song. I forget where I got it. Enjoy the Ride, I think, because I get a lot of stuff through them. I like their mail order. They're really good. Yeah, Enjoy the Ride Records. This, of course, second album, follow up to his huge hit, I Get Wet, with Victory Strikes Again, Long Live the Party, Tear It Up, Free Jumps, Never Let Down, Your Rules, The Song, Make Sex, Totally Stupid, Really in Love, The End of Our Lives, and I Love Music. I love Andrew WK. This album is awesome. I've played it and played it and played it on CD. Now I have the vinyl. Really happy. This thing currently retails, let's go up here a little bit, $24.99 for minimum price, $29.49, not much of a change there for median, and $37.75, okay, at the high end, but it is a terrific album. Next up is an album also from Enjoy the Ride, if I'm not mistaken, that I already had the original of. I had actually bought the original a couple years ago when I first got back into vinyl. I'm like, I'm going to get this, and I found it for like $18, and I'm like, I'm going to grab that. And then Enjoy the Ride re-released it on multi-swirled vinyl and at 45 RPM, which I didn't know, because the one thing that bugs me about this, they don't put that anywhere except on the record, and I didn't notice it. It's in tiny little print. And I've had all my glasses on. There's a problem. And yes, you're going to laugh at me because I love the show. I love the music. And it is about as close to prog as I really get. Lancelot Link and the Evolution Revolution. This is the 2021 reissue from Enjoy the Ride. There is the cool, I almost called it, I don't know what, I don't remember what they call it. I call it bomb pop vinyl. Looks like a bomb pop. Great music from the Evolution Revolution. They're cute little songs. They were written by some of Hollywood's greatest songwriters. And the show is very un-PC anymore, but it is. I had seen it when I was a little tiny kid when it was on in 70, 71. But then I found it again in the mid-'80s when Nick at Night started running it on the weekends, and found myself in hysterics through some of the writing and the way they did stuff. And I do have a DVD set of it also. Although they've never released an official of every episode. Every set seems to be missing one or two episodes. But yeah, what a great album. What a great memory. Lancelot Link and the Evolution Revolution. The Enjoy the Ride issue presently runs $24.99 minimum, $32.49 median, and $50 for the high end on this re-release. And as I said, I do have the original, and I think I've shown that before too. This is the only 45 RPM in the entire bunch. Next up, continuing up the list, because I don't remember what number, I was a bit surprised to find this on here. I just got this from Black Box 3 months ago, I think, and loved it. Oh my god, I loved it. Left a shrink on it because I haven't really figured I got to get some more sleeves, and I don't want to lose the hype sticker. But this one came out in 2021. It's a fairly recent, 2003 performance. But I was impressed, and it's a great collection of some of her best stuff live. And I had a live album. This was from the Syracuse Jazz Festival. Released in 2021 from Golden Lane Records, A Special Evening with Dionne Warwick. It is on silver vinyl. Pull it out here. That same, I don't know. They call this silver. To me, this is duct tape vinyl. It looks like duct tape. But this is a great album, and it has some of her biggest hits on it. all the way back from the 60s through the 80s. You know, Close to You, her original version, well before the Carpenters released it. Don't Make Me Over, Walk On By, Anyone Who Had a Heart, I Say a Little Prayer, Alfie, Heartbreaker, Do You Know the Way to San Jose, I'll Never Love This Way Again, What the World Needs Now is Love, and That's What Friends Are For. This is actually the third live album I have by Dion. I have one from Scepter in the 60s, and I have Dion Live and More from 1981. And only on that very first one does she do Promises, Promises, which is one of my favorite songs by her. This album, I was surprised to see it that high. It is going for 25.87, 26.66, and 27.45 respectively on Discogs. So on the medium, it's about halfway up the list. Another one I haven't listened to yet, simply because I didn't get it until after Christmas last year. I ordered it before Christmas, but I knew it would arrive late. They said it would probably arrive in early January. I have been waiting to hear this, and I love him, love his stuff, and it did come with a download, so it's all ready to go on the computer. But this was actually released I think, originally 2020. Let me see real quick. Nope, 2021. So yeah, I thought it arrived earlier this year. This is the first Christmas album from former Journey lead singer Steve Perry, called "'Tis the Season," or just the season rather. It is on 140 gram black vinyl. It does come with a download. It features the Christmas song "I'll Be Home for Christmas," "Auld Lang Syne," "Winter Wonderland," "What Are You Doing New Year's Eve," "Santa Claus Is Coming to Town," "Silver Bells," and "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas." I will be breaking this out when Christmas music hits this year. I wanted to save it. I also got a Cheap Trick one that I wanted to save for this year because like I said, I didn't get them till January, and looking forward to hearing this for the first time. I love Steve Perry anyway, and actually today he was on Obscuria. So if you listen to Obscuria, he was there. This is coming in at $29.98 minimum. Also $29.98 across the board, minimum, median, and high. I don't know what that means. I've never seen that before, except on this album. So it is interesting. But great voice and great songs. I gotta say, great songs he picked. Steve Perry and The Season. I think that's the only Christmas album on the list too. Had I gone with medium, Christmas in the Stars would have been on those lists, but I didn't go with that. Next up, my versions are exclusive, so they're probably a little bit more expensive on these. But when it comes to looking at it, I adore this guy, and people are like, wow, he seems out of your wheelhouse. Not at all. I love good folky rock like this guy does, and kind of emo rock. He does a little bit of everything. I fell in love with him thanks to two tracks he were included on the soundtrack from the excellent Gus Van Sant film Paranoid Park in 2008, and was devastated to find out he'd killed himself a couple years earlier, because he was a brilliant songwriter, and I love him, and I've gotten several of his albums on vinyl since they become available. This is the first of two on this list. He's the only artist represented twice. This is the Newbury Comics exclusive blue and white cloudy limited edition vinyl of Elliott Smith's New Moon. This album, double album set, obviously. There's the vinyl. Some of his cool stuff on here, of course, it is on Kill Rock Stars, and they say exclusive. I actually wonder how exclusive it is, because I never understood why, how they can say exclusive when it actually probably is sold at several record store types under different names in different states. I don't know. But this has Angel in the Snow, Talking to Mary, High Times, New Monkey, Looking Over My Shoulder, Going Nowhere, Riot Coming, All Cleaned Out, First Timer, Go By, Miss Misery, the early version, 13, Georgia, Georgia, Wherever, folk song, Big Decision, Placeholder, New Disaster, See How Things Are Hard, Fear City, Either Or, Pretty Mary Kay, the other version, Almost Over, See You Later, and Half Right. We lost a genius with this guy. He was amazing, and I love his stuff. and this album is no exception. I could not wait to get it, and I am so glad I did. It currently comes in at $29.99 on the low end, $49 in the medium, and $74.90 on the high end. This version reissued in 2020 from Kill Rock Stars, Elliott Smith and New Moon. Okay, the one album I went absolutely bug shit crazy for, looking for, during one of the record store days, because I've done all my record store day shopping here at home, off the computer, and this one was supposed to last forever, and it took me days to find it. Well, not days, but I mean, everybody said this was the same year. This was my first record store day after joining the VC. So that would have been 20, I don't remember which drop it was in 2020. It was a fall drop of some sort, I think. I don't remember. But in any case, I was blown away that this disappeared from every store I tried to find it at. And then I found Park Avenue CDs in Florida. Somebody sent me a note, hey, they still have it, grab it. And I did. And this is a fantastic version of this album. From 2020, is that right? Record Store Day exclusive, Alternate Rumors from Fleetwood Mac. Now, I love this album anyway. The alternate version is very good. It is different enough that it will notice it. This, and along with it, a lot of other ones are coming out. There's a box set of these coming out on Black Friday this year. The different ones of these, and I'm seriously thinking about getting that too. Although I've never been a huge Fleetwood Mac fan, I have a lot of the singles, but Rumors is the only album I have. And of course, it has all. I'm not going to bother. It has all the usual titles on Rumors. If you don't know what's on Rumors, then that's pretty sad. If you remember the VC and you don't know what's on Rumors, what's wrong with you? But I finally found it, and I was very happy, and it was very satisfying, and very glad to have gotten it. Alternate Rumors from Fleetwood Mac. There were 16,000 copies issued. The only thing I ever went for that I was not able to get was the reissue of the Koyaanisqatsi soundtrack from Philip Glass, and it's just too high from some of the Discogs. I'm not paying $125 for a $40 album. Sorry, not doing it. But eventually, hopefully, I'll find a copy somewhere. But this comes in at $29.99 on the low end, $54.32 in median, and $100 on the high end. Mine is definitely in near mint shape, so if I ever sell it, I'm going to ask for a decent price for it. I doubt that'll happen. Oh, no. Elliott Smith's not the only one. He's not even the one with the most of them in here. My boys are. Which nobody else has, because nobody else has Hanson. The first Hanson up on this set is the Greatest Hits collection. Hanson, Middle of Everywhere, the Greatest Hits, released in 2017. I don't know. There are 3 albums in this set, all on this translucent orange vinyl. And it includes all of their biggest hits and a lot of their album hits and the original song I Was Born when this came out. This was, let me see when it was released, 2017. There was this version I actually bought through the fan club, but it was the same version that was available at Urban Outfitters. And I've been working to get a lot of my boys' stuff on vinyl since I got back into the vinyl community, and this is one of them. It presently retails for $31.69 on the low end, $50 median, and $99 on the high end. And I can see why, because it's got all the good songs on it. And it is very cool, because my boys are cool. Hanson, Middle of Everywhere. And that comes in back to back with their 2010 album, Shout It Out. Shout It Out has what I think became their biggest hit in a while, and actually got radio airplay and video airplay, a song called Thinking About Something in 2010. and they've actually hit the AC, the adult songs list, several times recently. Shout It Out is presently $31.69, $59.99, and $119 on the high end. It's hard to get. I had to get mine from the fan club, and 180 gram black vinyl, custom labels, of course, and lots of great music. I mean, I can't praise my boys enough. There's one more coming, but not yet. Slide these over here. Next up, this one surprised me because I picked this up at a sale 2 months ago. Somewhere around, right before Olivia Newton-John passed away. I picked this up from Rough Trade for $8. Brand new, still sealed. And now I look at it and I'm like, oh my God, I really got a great deal on that, didn't I? This is the reissue from 2020 of the soundtrack from Olivia's first film, Tomorrow, produced by Harry Steltzman and Don Kirshner, if you couldn't see that. I had never heard any of this stuff before. Released by 2021 by Real Gone Music. I got this for $8, $8 or $9 from Rough Trade when they had a sale a couple months ago. And yeah, I mean, if I'd paid full price, I think I would have been pissed. That's mean. I mean, it's not bad. It's a good album, but the songs are so, I mean, they're not the Apple bad, but they're anyway, this comes in now at $31.76 on the low end, $41.16 median, and $70 on the high end. And I'm like, why $70? Tomorrow, from 2021, originally released in 1970, from the movie of the same name, featuring Olivia Newton-John as its main cast list person. Okay, let me see. I think we're actually entering the top 10 at this point. Let me count real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tomorrow is number 10. Number 9, and I'm surprised this is, I mean, I know this is a limited edition, but I didn't think it would be going away anytime soon. But I don't know how limited the limited edition was, because I don't think they said. But needless to say, whenever they make it available, I'm going to be ordering it every year, because it comes with other goodies, like the hat. This is the 2022 Eurovision Song Contest official entries album, all 40 songs, from the world's largest live music event, this one held in Turin, Italy. This includes this year's winner, Ukraine's Stefania, and the other albums. It's on 4. Oh yeah, this one also is 45 RPM and doesn't say it anywhere. But all the great songs, I'm not going to go over them, but if you're a Eurovision fan, I can put the titles up. If you're a Eurovision fan, you'll know some of them. If you're not a Eurovision fan, you probably won't know that many of them. But actually having this, I've bought the downloads since 2015 or 16, but this is the first year it's come out on vinyl since ever, I think. And I wasn't going to pass that up, especially since I got a great hat and a couple other things from them that are in here somewhere, little interstitial stickers and stuff. The Eurovision 22 album presently is priced at $32.82 on the lower end, $44.53 in the medium, and $49.99 on the high end. With postage and stuff, that's about what I paid for everything, about $50. So that's not bad. Next up, the first of the 2 box sets. And again, I've had this for a couple years. I've never opened it because I want to wait until I can actually sit down and enjoy it. It's not an album box set. There's 1 album in here, and then there's 3 CDs and a DVD. But I have loved this album since it came out in 1985, I think it was. I have the OG in my collection. And when I saw this on Rhino Records website, I'm like, I'm grabbing that because that's a great price. This is the Super Deluxe Limited Edition release from 2018, I believe. Yes, 2018 of Alphaville's Forever Young. I love this album. Everything awesome from Alphaville is on this album. Big of Japan, Forever Young. Terrific, terrific stuff. It comes with the original album on vinyl remastered, the original album remastered on CD, additional B-sides in 12 inches, and a DVD of original videos. I've never opened it because I want to wait until I can actually give it the time. I want to keep it nice. It's not an investment. I will get around to open it and actual review of it at some point. But I could not believe the price on this, and I just love it. Because I got it for like $70. This currently is at $33.61 on the low end, $52.97 on the median, and $69.99 for the high end. So it's about the same I paid for it, and it is really worth it from what I've heard. I've actually heard the remastered version online, so I have heard it, but I have not actually played it for myself. I don't have that much time sometimes. Next up, I I I I was amazed at seeing how high this was priced now on the high end, but it's worth it because the album itself is really something, and I'm again, I mean, I hate it when we lose artists so young that have way more talent. And Elliott Smith's loss was a true disaster to music. This is Roman Candle, reissued in 2021. I had not heard it until I picked it up, and I love this album. It is on clear splatter vinyl. This is the Newbury Comics exclusive version. Includes Roman Candle, Condor Avenue, 3 no-name songs, 1, 2, and 3. I can't read the writing. There's a no-name far, Last Call, and Kiwi Underdog 2020, and Do We All... I can't read that. I can't remember. Do We... I'm not even going to try. See the Newbury Comics exclusive up there. Clear with metallic gold splatter. I don't have the problem with this that some people have had, saying they get noise from the metallic type of splatter. This sounds great as far as I'm concerned. I did get a download with it, which helps listen to it that way too. This is currently $35 low end, $48.49 high end, or medium, and $62 high end. If you find it at a decent price, this album is worth it. Grab it. Sorry about that. I just smacked the microphone. Now, here's my last one by my boys, and this album is magnificent. 2018, they took a lot of their hits, meshed them into a stage show with a bunch of new music, and came up with an idea where they would tour with the symphony and do all the songs with the symphony orchestra playing with them. They called it String Theory, and this is by far one of my favorite Hanson albums. I talked about it on Influencers that very first time I talked about this. 2-record set on black vinyl, 180 gram. Includes some of their biggest hits, quite a few new songs, all done with an orchestra. We saw this live at the Orpheum Theater in Boston. It was incredible. I mean, it's one of the few albums they've released that do not have that distinctive Hanson logo. They just have the regular thing. And there is an album out of just the orchestral score called A Piece of String, which is really hard to get, and I've not been able to secure one yet, but I would like to. They brought their own orchestra with them wherever they went, and it is phenomenal. If you don't know Hanson or you haven't listened to them since the days of Bop, this is the album to start with. You'll get an amazing overview of some of their earlier hits, some of their later stuff, and some brand new material. String Theory currently comes in at $35 on the low end, $60 on the median end, and $179 on the high end. I got my copy for $40 from the Hampton Fan Club. I've been a card carrying member since 2003, I think. And so I get discounts and stuff there. You try to buy this on Discogs, you're going to be looking at $150 to $250 on for a vinyl copy. You can get the CD at any record store, but it's just as good. But it's great to have it on vinyl. My boys are awesome. Don't be dissing Hanson now. This one blew my mind because this is a brand new release. And I'm like, why is this so high on the list? I talked about this guy on a recent Rank This. In fact, I think it was the last one I did. Or maybe one or two beforehand. I love this guy. This album is fantastic. And I'm really glad. I don't know why it's so high on the list. I need to push up here to get to the top 5. It's at number 5 on my using the minimum price list, and it just came out in February. This is Joe Satriani and Elephants of Mars. There is some great music on this album. I love Satriani anyway. I have like most of his albums. Most of them are digital, but I do have some. I have 2 or 3 of them on vinyl now, thanks to Black Box. All of my Satriani on vinyls come from Black Box. Last 2 albums and Surfing with the Alien, which is awesome. Everything else I have on either CD or I have it digitally. And I love this guy, and this album is fantastic. And one of the songs on this album, Faceless, utter fantastic. One of my favorite tracks ever from this guy. It is number 5 on the minimum price list on Discogs of what I have in my collection. It is currently $36.63, minimum $36.98, median $48.95 for the upper price. And it just came out in February. Elephants of Mars, Joe Satriani. Love that album. At number 4, excuse me, at number 4 I actually did a little damage to it by accident, which I brought up when I bought it. And I'm a masochist. What can I say? I love the music from this movie, dorky as hell as it is, just because there's nothing else like it. And the movie is one of the, I mean, it truly deserves So Bad It's Good in its title, because it is terribly, terribly acted, terribly written, and it is so fun to watch. And the music is great fun to make fun of. And Enjoy the Ride re-released the soundtrack last year, and I grabbed it when I could. Miami Connection from 1988, I believe, is when the movie came out originally. I did a little bit of damage to it when I accidentally dripped some sanitizer into it, and I didn't realize it. Featuring the music of Dragon Sound, and on side B includes Dragon Sound live at Fantastic Fest when this was reissued, when Alamo Drafthouse reissued the movie, and Kung Fu Rock and Roll. That's all you got to say. Kung Fu Rock and Roll, great album. Number 4 on the price list. $50 for the low end. It didn't cost that much. $65 high end, $99.98. It has been reprinted twice now by Enjoy the Ride because it sells out every time, and it's worth it. Miami Connection. Number 3 is a box set. The War vinyl, 1971 to 1975. I don't buy box sets very often, but I wanted this so bad. I love War. They were awesome. They were part of my childhood. This has all of their biggest hit albums, all 5 of them from 1971 to 1975. And the only thing it's missing, in fact, is the greatest hits album. So there's 5 albums in this set, and it is great. Um, Love them. I'd never heard their whole albums until I got this. It's the first time I'd ever listened to the whole albums, and I realized just why I have always loved them. That is currently 66.18 minimum, which is way below what I paid for it. 113.85 for median, and 149.95 maximum, which is about $30. I paid 120 for it when it came out on Record Store Day last year. Great albums and great collection. I wish I could understand the pricing around this. Melinda Murphy did a great video a couple weeks ago about the pricing, the crazy pricing. This one is crazy pricing too, because the day it was out on Record Store Day, before the time frame, which was 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that was during the 2021 Record Store Days, 1 o'clock that afternoon, that same Record Store Day drop, they could put stuff online. Before that happened, Flippers had it listed at $250. It retailed for $29.99, and I got it for $29.99 from Newbury Comics. I mean, what can you say? It was the album to grab. DG's Hail Satin, of course, that's the Foo Fighters, doing mostly Bee Gees songs. Taylor Hawkins, the late Taylor Hawkins, great Taylor Hawkins, doing vocals on the Andy Gibb song Shadow Dancing. And then, of course, the other side was the Foo Fighters, some tracks done at a live show. And this album's price is insane. I mean, right up front, it is insane. On the average, the minimum is 100, the median 179, and the max 250. Really? I mean, really? It's a disco album. Come on. I know it's Foo Fighters, and now it's worth more because Taylor Hawkins is sadly no longer with us, but damn it, people, this is what we call overpricing. It's great. It ain't that great. Number 2, the DGs and Hail Satin. And number 1 on the Discogs list, on all 3 categories, is an album that very few of you are ever going to hear of. I was surprised to know that a couple of people I know in the VC did know what it is, because it's basically a promotional album from a local duo from where I went to school. And yet the prices are insane. I'd like to say it's a great album. I'd like to say that. It's a good album, not a great album. And they did music in the Spokane area for quite a while. And I've found more recent articles on them. I had a single released in 1977. The mix was terrible, but it was still good music. And they later followed it up with an album with just the 2 of them. My number 1 most expensive album on Discogs is by the Pacific Northwest based Donnie and Joe Emerson. The album is Dreamin' Wild, came out in 1979. It was produced by a man named Herb Tollefson, who was the music director for a number of years at my high school. He goes by Herb Toll here. And Donnie and Joe did their own label, Enterprise and Company Records. That was the name of the band at the time. Herb's address and phone number are right on the label. Arrington, Washington. There you go. I was surprised anybody knew this, and I was surprised to see it was worth so damn much money. There weren't that many made. I got my copy directly from Mr. T, as we used to call him, because he had a little store, a little music store in Harrington, and he would give me lessons on guitar and Saks, neither one of which went anywhere, but I saw that what he was doing. I said, I want to buy one of the albums when they're ready, and he's like, okay. And sure enough, there was one waiting for me. And I asked for it. Donnie and Joe Emerson's Dreamin' Wild goes for $150 minimum, $200 median, and a whopping $375 as the top level. That is pretty damn incredible. They never made it nationally, although they did do production and stuff in the Spokane area, if I'm not mistaken. There are a couple of websites online that have articles up about them. There's the back cover. And and of course my copy now has ringware, so it's probably not worth as much as all that, but I wouldn't give it up. I wouldn't sell it because it's a collector's item, and it comes from my area. My across the street neighbor was their bass player for a while. Later on, they got rid of the band and started doing their own bass. But on the single that came out, the 45 that I have by them, my friend Dion Bischoff does the bass on that, and it's an interesting thing. If you've ever heard of this, I'm definitely interested in knowing. Donnie and Joe Emerson, Dreamin' Wild, 1979, my most valuable album according to Discogs. That's the top 25. As I said, if I'd gone by median, there would have been a couple of other things in here. Christmas in the Stars, my OG copy from Miko, the Star Wars Christmas album, and Silly Surfers and Weird O's would have been in there. It was interesting. I've seen other people do it, and I thought I'd do it too, so I hope you got a kick out of it. And I hope you get a kick out of this and all the other shows I do throughout the week. I also host the Kirkham Report on Saturdays. I put up the Radio Retro Countdown on Sundays, and I host Influencers on Tuesdays. Plus, there's the Daily Song, the TC's Obscuria Vaults every day, Monday through Friday at 11. All the weekly shows are at 4 p.m. usually. This is a few hours late because I couldn't get it done last night, but it'll be up on the right day at least. And that's good. If you've subscribed, I really appreciate it. And if not, please do. And thank you. I really appreciate it. And leave a comment. I love hearing from you. I'm going to be catching up on the last couple of weeks' comments in the next day or two. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this edition. Yeah, this edition of Rank This. Until next time, I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report. Ciao, baby.